Hello everyone, it's the Jaddis here, and as many of you know, WWDC finished a few days ago, and one of the biggest highlights about the unveiling was iOS 7. And this is going to be my hands-on video, and I'm just going to show you off some of the features that Apple have added to iOS 7. So let's get started, shall we? Now, one of the very first things you'll notice about iOS 7 before you even unlock the phone is the lock screen. It's been completely changed up and everything like that. They've gotten rid of the bars at the top and bottom. Right now, they've made this sort of the phone icon very small, so it kind of moves there, and it still works the same functionality. And you've got the time. The font is a bit thinner on there, and then you've got the wallpaper, which takes up a lot more room. So if you like having sort of big fancy wallpapers, it's very nice. And you can see here I've got the sort of galaxy wallpaper here, and right now it's not just the whole button, just the button. Excuse me, not the bottom tab. It's you can swipe the whole home screen from any direction to unlock it, and when you do, it just becomes like that. And you see here this sort of animation that's sort of coming out from you almost. It's not sort of like the way it comes out from the side, and it comes like that. And you can see right here just a new design and everything like that. Obviously, only the icons, the stock icons on iPhone have really been sort of revamped. You can see all my other icons here, and they're not been changed in any way whatsoever. They're still the same design, but only the really stock icons right now. Hopefully, as iOS 7 becomes a mainstream and everything like that, it becomes the main thing, developers will update their apps to look more sort of in line with the new icons and everything like that. That my iPhone right now is currently running iOS 7 Beta 1, which is only available to developers. So iOS 7 currently isn't out for everybody to use, but so it's only available to select developers and really people who've sort of signed up to be a developer for Apple, and so it's only really available to them. So that does mean right now I'm running. It does have a few bugs, and every time I get kind of glitches in a way. Some things don't sort of appear the way they should be. So like some applications don't even work at all. So like eBay right here, if I click onto it, the screen just freezes and it doesn't work, which is a bit odd. And again, so that's something to consider if you are upgrading to the want to try to get iOS 7 beta, because it's gonna be lag and it's gonna slow things down a bit. It's not quite as fast or as smooth as it used to be. But again, if you really want to use these features, if you want to see the new design, which is kind of what I wanted to do. And obviously there is a way to downgrade if you downgrade back to iOS 6 if you really can't stand iOS 7 beta version with all these glitches and stuff like that. So it's a bit odd, but you'll get used to it, I think. So as you can see, it's been completely redesigned and everything like that. There's new animations for everything as well. So if I just go into something like, let's go into the App Store. You can see right there, it's a new animation. Everything's been completely redesigned. They've kind of gotten rid of the three-dimensional effect and the sort of glossy effect that it has, and made it look so very flat. Personally, I quite like the new design. It feels a bit odd at first because I'm so used to that sort of old-styled iOS 6 design that's not really been changed over the years, and this change is a lot more sort of drastic than previous iOS updates. So it's a bit weird in some aspects, but it's a nice new experience because you have these new sort of, it's a refresh and everything, so it's like experiencing a new thing, but you know how to use it and everything like that. Now in terms of the design, Apple have kind of really gotten rid of some of that old sort of realistic world effect and try to make it sort of more sort of modern and digital and all that, and they're trying to get rid of all this design. So if I go into something like here in the Reminders application, you can see here it's everything related. Everything's been kind of redone and everything like that. There's no more sort of that leathery look to it. Everything's sort of black and white and sort of colourful, and it just makes it more nice, clearer. And you can see right here, just if I go through anything like that, let's go to App Store. Right here again, it's got the sort of white and blackish design, which is kind of it's nice. It's because it just makes it more simple and easy to use. But again, it's a bit weird because I'm so used to that sort of yellow paper in the in the notes and the reminders having that sort of black leather look. It's a bit weird. Again, just going to some of the features here. When you pull down on the notification screen, you can see you've got this sort of new notification sensor here, which has got this sort of, again, this translucent effect, which is a sort of, you can kind of make out the applications in the background. So there's a bit of a slightly transparent Again, you've got these three in the notification center. You've got these three different tabs. So if you missed any notifications, if you all your notifications, and today, which is telling you all the times and anything got on your calendar and stocks, it's a nice effect. And one of the biggest things that I've really redone is just add the what was called the control center. And again, you can see that translucency. And in this control center, what they've really done is they've kind of done what basically everybody's been asking for a long time. So these toggles to sort of turn off the airplane mode, the Wi-Fi, the Bluetooth, the do not disturb, and anti-lock rotation. And you can adjust things like the brightness, the music player, flashlight, timer, calculator, and quick camera. And then I've added this new feature called AirDrop, which is kind of Apple's answer to NFC, really. It's kind of where if you're in the proximity of someone, you can send them an email or a web page without having to sort of like send it through email or actually go into the Messages app. You could just click on AirDrop and it will send it directly, and it's much faster. A really interesting feature that I've it's kind of a gimmicky feature, but it's one that I really liked. It was the fact that as you held the phone and you tilted it, the wallpaper kind of shifted slightly. It sort of made this sort of way that it's almost like you could see behind the application. So if I just tilt it right here, you can kind of make out the wallpaper behind it is kind of shifting slightly, and so you can see underneath it. And it kind of makes it look sort of like three-dimensional in a way, and it's not a useful feature, but obviously it's a nice feature to have, and it's very interesting to have, because sometimes you just go there and you can start playing with it because it's just kind of almost fun to use. But it's not a useful feature, but again, it's a nice sort of thing to have. Now, while not adding a lot of new features, Apple did update quite a lot of their own applications. So basically, that means that things like Safari, if I just go in for example right here, you have this sort of nicer, cleaner look with everything, and you have the sort of full screen, so you don't get that tabs at the bottom until you click it, obviously, and you get things like that. You can swipe down to get to your history and things like that, and obviously it's got that sort of nicer, cleaner look and everything like that with the whole black and blue. And if you go in here, you can actually view the sort of new design of the tabs application. And what they've done is they've kind of made it sort of three-dimensional right now, and you're not limited to 8 pages anymore. So if you're one of those people that has a lot of pages open, a lot of tabs open, and you want to just not worry about that, you don't have to do that anymore. You can have as many tabs as you want, apparently. Another new feature is what they've done is they've added these folders, a new design of folders, and what they've done is that you're not limited to any applications anymore, so you could have hundreds and hundreds of folders in here theoretically, and then you wouldn't have any limitation on how many you could put, which is kind of nice, because things like this, I store a lot of my games on here, and sometimes I have to store loads of different folders for games application if I have start to get a lot of them. And everything so far just looks and works a lot better than it used to be. So if we go into the weather app here, you can see it's got this sort of nice sort of live background sort of effect. You can see the light rays are moving slightly. If I go into somewhere here, you can see London right here, the clouds are moving. Things seem to work a lot better here than they used to. And so if I go into calendar, it works this way. Any photos, you got this sort of year by year. Everything seems to work a lot better than it used to be. It just sort of makes it nicer and more functional. And lots of things have been sort of subtly updated. So things like maybe in here, if I just show you, the font for the keyboard has been sort of, they've changed slightly. They've thinned it out a bit, so it's a slightly strange to type on, because I'm so used to the keyboard on iOS 6, and it's not really changed much over the years. But you got that here, and again, Siri's been updated as well. So if I just show you here, turn up the brightness.
The screen is already as bright as it gets.
So you can just see here, it does that, and it gives me the toggle to do things like that. Obviously, Siri's still quite slow in a way, but maybe it might get faster because this is only a beta version, and they might update things. Obviously, there's a lot of lag here as well, so they might update it slow over time, and Siri might get faster. But right now, it's still the same speed, and it's still quite slow compared with Google Now and Google Voice Search, which is a bit irritating and a bit disappointing. I really wish they kind of would have focused more on that. And the camera application has been updated as well. So you've got here, instead of having the sort of one big button here, you kind of have not big button. You kind of, instead of having the sort of settings and all things like that, everything is just sort of a swipe away. So if I want to go in here, I can go into my video, back to photo. There's a square if you want to upload things onto Instagram, for example, and also panorama, obviously for panoramic photos. And I've also added these sort of color filters as well. If I can just show you here, they've kind of added this sort of Instagram style layout to everything. So right now, obviously because I'm looking at a black, not black, white sort of table, it's working badly. But if I just show you here, for example, it kind of has this cool effects that you can add to it and take pictures real time. Which is obviously now even activate notification center and control center from the lock screen. So if I swipe down here, I get access to notification center without having to unlock it. Or if I swipe upwards, again I get control center, which is what they're calling it. Things have been updated as well. So if we can go here into control center. That's my overall opinion. I very much like the new sort of design change, especially the lock screen. I really like the sort of galaxy-like wallpaper, and it's this whole full lock screen, full wallpaper. Excuse me, and these sort of new animations. But obviously, a lot of people have been complaining about it. Obviously, so one of the big things that a lot of people have been saying is that Apple sort of been copying off things from Android, and things like the control center with the toggles. People have been saying that's been copied off. Obviously, Android had this a lot earlier before Apple ever had that. A lot of animations sort of look similar to Android, especially the lock screen. I think one of the lock screen has live wallpapers that looks very much like Android's Nexus sort of bubble wallpaper. But again, you can have your own opinion on whether you like Android or iOS. Personally, I think it's a great update. Obviously, it's a bit strange because I'm so used to the old style iOS 6, and below that it's obviously going to be a bit weird and uncomfortable using it. But obviously, I think I'll get over it in time, and I'll grow to love it. It'll grow on me. Obviously, Apple will update this and make it faster because it's a bit slow right now, and it's not really working to its best. But yeah, that's been my real hands-on review of iOS 7. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, check out my other videos, and have a good day.